Hello everybody and a warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I am very happy to see you here today and I hope you all doing fine, even if we live in very crazy times for the moment. Today's video will be an update video for 3 countries and it will be for France, Spain and Portugal. And as usual, I'm gonna use my crystal ball, my tarot card, oracle cards and some dice to do this video. But before we begin, I must thank you all, you wonderful viewers, for all of your support to this channel. I'm very grateful for all of your comments, your sharing, your caring, coffees, everything that you do helps so much and it really gives a lot of strength and inspiration to continue. So a big hug to all of you. What's more? Well, today will be the update video for France, Spain and Portugal. And I know there are a lot of people that would like to have their country in an update video. But please understand, there are more than 200 countries on this planet for the moment. And every country is important and every country is suffering. The evil ones have had a grip on every country now on our planet. So there is, it seems for the moment, no really a safe space and no tranquility anywhere. And I have to restrict myself to do like 3 countries at a time. And I know there are many countries that would like to have an update, but I cannot do every country on the planet, so I have to limit myself a little bit. But for the next update video, I'm planning for next month, for May month, I'm planning to do an update video for the countries of Poland and Sweden. That is just because I'm born in Poland and I lived almost all my life in Sweden, so both countries are dear to me. And there are a lot of viewers that have been members and followed me since the beginning from Sweden and Poland. So those 2 countries will be next to go. And after that, in month of May, I will also do rest of the Nordic countries, and that will be for Denmark, Norway, Finland and Iceland. So those 4 countries will come after Sweden and Poland. But there are more ones to come, and of course I will do other countries. Probably I will soon do also Canada and USA, and since a lot of things are happening and those 2 countries are quite important for what is going on. So yeah, that's the little short update. And please remember, I only have one channel and it's called Tarot by Izabela. Only Tarot by Izabela, nothing else. And there are fake channels circulating and you can easily spot them out. For example, how many subscribers they have. The real Tarot by Izabela have more than 100,000 subscribers and the other ones selling around 1,000. And well, they steal my videos, pretend to be me, change the background to poor background, poor sound, and they're easily spotted. So please be careful. Remember, I only have one channel and this is this one. And the channel's ID number you can find when you click on the channel's name. And the real Tarot by Izabela is Tarot by Izabela 209. So please be careful since there are scammers out there and I really cannot guarantee that they cannot do anything to the viewers. So please be careful, okay? So what about those 3 countries for today? In front of me I have maps of France, Spain and Portugal. And those maps are more as a little helper, because if I see something special or some event that could happen in a place in those countries, then it's easier to pinpoint out where it could be, around what city or what area. So those maps are more for an extra help for me. I never know in advance what can come up, and hopefully only good things will come up, and if there are any bad things, not so pleasant, they really don't need to come up and don't really need to happen either. And the time is very difficult to predict on. I have to repeat that. Time frames in every video, they are just an approximate. But when I see something very strongly, or feel, taste, or whatever comes to me very strongly, then it has a bigger possibility to occur. And sometimes time frames could be if I see the weather outside, if it's summer, winter, or whatever, then it could be around that season. Sometimes I get within days or weeks, but I cannot guarantee. As I said, time is not linear, it's fluent, and many things can affect an event to happen in a certain period of time, and it can be delayed for whatever reason. So yeah, that's it. Now, enough talking. Let's start this reading. First, I need to concentrate for a few moments on my crystal ball. And when I'm finished with my crystal ball, after that, I'm gonna take some cards on each country, and we'll see what comes up. So please give me a few seconds, and soon we'll start. For France, Spain, and Portugal. But I also have to mention, for Spain, we also have Baleares, the Spanish island in the Mediterranean, like Mallorca and Menorca and Ibiza. So those are also included in this reading. And also the Canary Islands, like Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, Lanzarote, Tenerife, Gomera, La Palma. So those islands are also included in this reading. Okay. Now, let's see. Yes, we're living in quite different times, troubling times also, and the deep state, the dumb elite, are being exposed more and more. And since the EU is crumbling down, it's on its last breaths of existence. The deep state's fingers in every country's politics is going to be more and more obvious. And first thing I saw, France. And the French people, they are not afraid to protest. And big protests are coming in France this spring and summer. I see hundreds of thousands of people on the street protesting against corruption, protesting against EU, protesting against the dictatorship that has been thrown on the citizens of France. And I hear boots marching. There could be, especially in big cities like Paris or Nice, and also see somewhere here, Marseille, Bordeaux, Strasbourg, big cities. I see like dark military boots on the ground, like some kind of hired mercenaries. They are not like real humans, they're quite evil, that will try to crash down on those protesters. But the fear-mongering or the panic they want to create will only make the French people even more angry, and even more protests are coming. So it's like death blow to the deep staters in France if they apply those dark boots to squeeze, to stop the people from protesting. There are more fire in people's souls in France than in Spain. It's like them, oh, yeah, it's bad, so what can we do? They are not really that protesting fire yet waking in Spanish people's souls. But in Spain, there will be protests, and it will be farmers, because EU are trying to control everything. What you eat, what you breathe, where you live, everything. And some new crazy rules for Spain. And the political leadership in Spain, I see them trembling. It's like their powers is not there for so long. Could be some kind of airplane accident outside Madrid. Many will survive, but it still could look quite horrible. On the Canary Islands, especially Gran Canaria and Fuerteventura and Tenerife, there could be problems with water, or because those islands have a lot of plants that desalinize, take seawater and make it sweet water. And there will be some problem with those plants. And this is also a dirty trick from the Damelites to try to control the people. And there will also be a lot of protests. Could be problems with flights to the Canary Islands during summertime. So some problems with tourists getting to the island or getting off the island with the airports. And the Portuguese people are slowly waking up. They have also been in like a coma for a long time. And especially the younger generation, those that are a lot on social media. It's like something will click inside of many young people, and they will begin to spread information that is totally contrary to what the authorities thinks is correct. And a lot of evidence are coming out in Portugal. North of Portugal, some very nasty corporation will try to make some kind of land grab, try to force people off their lands. Yeah, they want to make some extra money or just show who is in charge. But really, every government in a quite near future will collapse. There will be, the world as it is today, political order or disorder will not exist in the future. It will be a total change for something clean, fair, and just. Even if I don't look at Morocco today, but something will happen to Morocco that will improve the living standard for many Moroccan citizens. And in Spain, there are a lot of people from Morocco. And I see at a certain point that a lot of people from Morocco would like to return to their home country because the living standard and living conditions will be much better than in Spain. And around the ocean, around Mallorca, Ibiza, around those islands, I see a lot of police boats, military boats, and they will crack down on human traffickers, drug trafficking, and things like that. And some of their findings, the criminals that they will catch, will have connections to very important politicians in the Spanish government, but also to important politicians in the French government. So that is like a big scandal coming out. Around the Portuguese coast, Portugal has a long coast, beautiful coast, and Portugal is also famous for their seafood, fish dishes. I see fishermen from older generation looking out the ocean and talking about strange sightings, strange signs that they have not seen before. So it could be that fish or sea creatures or even the ocean in itself will start to behave in a very strange way or very different way. Could be different colors, could be different kind of sea animals that will appear. That's a little bit like mythical. It's no one has ever seen that those creatures who are alive today. But still strange happenings around the coast of Portugal. There will be 2 assassination attempts on 2 politicians in France. And that will happen within 6 months. And those politicians, they don't belong to the real deep state. They are a little bit like outsiders. They want to make France great again. And there will be assassinations attempts on them, but they will survive. And that will also hit the front news headlines. And will upset a lot of people. The French government, for the school year after summer holidays, they want to uh, force a very stupid woke policy in the schools. But the majority of the parents will protest against that, so that will also be some kind of scandal regarding this. And a lot of Spanish politicians and a lot of Spanish could be also members of royalty, so-called royalty. Scandals will come out around them regarding Epstein files or other strange activities, nefarious activities that will come up to the open. And I see a lot of UFO activity in Spain and Portugal coming in. More those countries than in France, a little bit in France, but will be concentrated in Spain and Portugal. But also in Tenerife and Gran Canaria in the mountain areas. A lot of reports will come in from those places. In Grenoble, in France, there could be a crazy mad person um, attacking people, wanted to hurt people. I see this person really like, crazy eyes, in rage, could be with a knife or something sharp, wanting to hurt as many as possible. But I see brave Frenchmen um, wrestling this person down and holding him, and it's like in drugs, could be mind control, could be anything. And even if I think mind control is the most fit explanation to his outburst, but he will held down before he can do a lot of damage. Another scandal regarding water in Spain and Portugal. Like they will try to hold back water, even if there is water, making some kind of problems for people in the countryside. But since the latest scandals regarding water in Spain, when there were flooding, people are more awake and more responsive to try to stop it before it goes to make real big problems. Both in Spain, Portugal, and south of France, there could be some strange sightings of saints, angels, or mythological personalities. Uh, like Virgin Mary or Jesus or some saint that is worshipped in those areas. Sorry. I don't see that as real saints. I see it more like some kind of mind control or holographic projections of some kind. Just to make people think of something else than the problems that are in those countries that the government have caused. And for Spain, those big plantations of olives, make olive oils, they have to guard them extra carefully this year because the deep state will try to burn down a lot of olive trees just to make problems and to raise food prices and things like that. And also to blame the climate change, as usual. So farmers or workers on olive fields, I can recommend you be extra vigilant and see if there is not someone who wants to set the fields on fire. The King of Spain, I say he will probably catch some very nasty cold or something. There's some illness in the royal family, Spanish royal family, is coming. And there could be a period where there will be not so much tourists in the Canary Island. And those who are resident in those islands will have to stockpile on food and water during a couple of weeks for some strange reason. And outside the north of Gran Canaria and Tenerife, I see something in the ocean. It could be some strange phenomena, could be a small earthquake. Something will happen in the ocean above those islands. Something want to come out from below, up. It look a little bit like if the ocean is boiling, but it's not boiling. And in many places in France, people will hear a very loud squeezing sound that will be extremely disturbing, and nobody would know where that sound comes from. It's like high pitch, some very strange sound with no explanations whatsoever from the authorities. And all those strange signs, I get it as the beginning of the end of this world we live in. Not world as planet, people, no. This 3D conception, this world of lies, deceive, and slavery. So we are heading for a new world, liberation. But it will not get so smooth. It will be a bumpy ride before we reach it. And there will be many strange signs before it really happens. Okay? Now, that was what I could see in the crystal ball for those 3 countries. Now I'm gonna take some cards on every country. So we're gonna begin with France. let's choose a tarot deck. Let's see. Maybe take this one. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. We're gonna take that one. So let's shuffle the cards first for France. And some oracle cards. And finally some dice. And the cards for France, they look like this. Let's see what we got here for France. In the tarot cards, we have 5 of Wands, 4 of Swords, and 4 of Wands. On the oracle cards, we have support, stag, protect your inner fire, your crown is your courage, storm. And on the dice, we have wet, trees, one tree with needles and the other one with leaves, and a kayak. There will be, as I said, a very stressful period for France. A lot of protesting. The storm will come upon France. And people will show a courage they have never shown before. And the good side, the good people will get a lot of support when it will look quite difficult. And different groups of humans different groups of citizens will join together in France to protest against the corruption and the evilness that is governing the country. People that normally don't talk to each other, but it will be cross-culture, cross-religious barrier, and really they will join together. We have trees with needles and trees with leaves. And a big courage will burn in everyone's heart. They will be the change that the country needs. And it will be a stressful period. The cards also recommend people to try to find time to relax, charge the batteries, not to get too emotional, observe, but not absorb too much. But still, there will be like a small revolution for France. This time the government cannot stop it. It will really turn a lot of things around. Well, that was for France. Now, let's take some cards for Spain. I'm gonna change maps. Spain. Let's see here. And some dice. And the cards for Spain, they look like this. Let's see what we got here for Spain. In the tarot cards, we have Judgment, Knight of Cups, and Ten of Cups. And on the oracle cards, we have two doves, birds, high honor, repetitive patterns, a snake with venom dripping from its tongue. And on the dice, we have a person that is holding his hand up and want to say something. Rare, and a ladybird. In Spain, there will also be protests. If the French people will inspire the Spanish people for this. And this person that is holding his hands up is like, hello, you have to listen to me, because their governments, their corrupt politicians don't want to listen and work for the people. And the people will demand to have their voices heard. A new figure will rise from the people, a young person, a young man, who will gather a lot of followers. And somehow this young person will be in the front for the wave of big protests that are coming. and he will point out where the snakes are in their government, in their institutions, and it will be up in your face for those who are asleep, and they cannot deny it. So many will be forcefully waken up in Spain. In certain areas in Spain, there could be an invasion of insects. But these insects, I don't see them as dangerous pests, more insects that eat the pests. Or the people, especially the farmers, will want to use more organic pest control. Certain insects eat pests, so maybe they want to use a biological warfare against pests, not toxins. And old remedies, many times the most healthiest ones. So old remedies, old ways to control pests will gain a lot of interest, and but I also see a lot of farmers, a lot of working people. No to EU. Let's leave EU. It's a disgrace. They are thieves and robbers. So a lot of people will begin to really feel that disgust against the control mechanism, the dictatorship of EU. Yeah, and the people in the center, this young person, he will point that out a lot. So a lot of things are coming for Spain. Now, let's take the last cards will be for Portugal. Let's see what comes up for Portugal. And which one shall we take now? Let's take this one. And finally, some dice. And the cards for Portugal, they look like this. So let's see what we got here for Portugal. In the tarot cards, we have the Devil, Four of Cups, and Hermit. On the Oracle cards, we have In the Flow, Everything is Smooth Sailing, Roundabout, Community Connections. Meditate, Silence is the universe's language. And on the dice, we have Watching, Cheeks, and a dog. Well, the Portuguese people have been not protesting so much against all the devilish things that have been put upon them. It's more like watching and accepting. Oh, well, we cannot do anything about it. Well, let's take this and this and this and this and so on. And one crazy rule after another. Maybe complaining a little bit, but really just going in a circle. That is coming to an end. But when the Portuguese people wake up, they wake up with a bang. And their sleep is about to end. They are coming out of the cave. The hermit is coming out, and he will tell everyone what he has found during his time away. Even if there have not been so many protests, there still have been protests. People have been watching. A lot of people have been trying to pass forward information, warn their fellow citizens. And suddenly, it will be in a matter of weeks. It's like a massive wake up from hypnosis for the Portuguese people. And they will not hide out anymore in the cave. They will be like barking dogs, biting dogs. And they will want to know the truth and have answers from their politicians. And they will also want to have justice for what has been done to them. In other words, a lot of countries in Europe will start to demand justice, will not accept every stupidity that the dictatorship, because there is no democracy at all in Europe anyway, and not what you can talk about, because almost all elections are selections, not elections, and big corporations and wealthy people decide who's gonna be what kind of minister and so on. But that is soon coming to an end. And yeah, the Portuguese people will stand up and will begin to say no. And it's almost like already notes are being taken on who did what during what period. And those who did a lot of evil things, their names and whereabouts are written down. And when that signal comes, that time comes, and it's in a quite close future, those people will have no place to hide. Sorry. and will have to be responsible for their actions. Well, that was drop the card. That was my reading for the update France, Spain, and Portugal. And to all of you wonderful people in those three countries, be strong, help your friends, family, neighbors, try to keep together. There will be a lot of turbulence in your countries in a quite close future. Better times are coming. And it's also a process to wake up the human spirit, not to be slaves anymore to any strange laws or dictatorship, because the human soul is so much stronger than we ever can imagine. And again, to all of you other wonderful viewers, I want to thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see each other soon again. Bye bye.